It's been almost exactly 1 year since we started on this native garden project here in Raleigh. For those of you who don't know or haven't followed along, we have a garden here in Raleigh that has something like 500 different plants in it, a fairly small urban space. But next to us, adjoining the property, is a property that belongs to the city. And they gave us permission last year to turn this into a native garden, so native plants. And when we say native, mostly native to the Southeast United States. They may not be native to Wake County right here where we are in Raleigh, North Carolina, but definitely in the Southeast. And one of our aims with this space is to show off a broader group of native plants. Typically when we see what we see around state, municipal buildings, new construction, new parking lot designs and things like that. So a lot of native plants going in all over the country. Steph and I see it all over in all of our travels. But what we're seeing is a lot of the same plants planted over and over and over again in those projects. And so that's been a little bit disheartening, that if we're going to do native plants, I feel like it needs to have needs to be a broader group of native plants really being used in some of these projects. So that's part of what we wanted to do here with this project, is not have the same native plants that you see in every project. So we're going to be visiting several different nurseries this year. We have a lot of friends in this business that are in the native plant section of horticulture, where they do. We've got a friend who produces plugs for native plants and owns a native plant brand that you've met, Steve, on the channel before with American Beauties. We have friends over in Tennessee that we're going to go and visit this year, and we're going to have an absolutely incredible collection of native plants, mainly from the Southeast United States, that they've collected over the years. It's unbelievable. So we're going to be doing that. We started this project last year with the wood chips. And so this is about 1 year. As I was looking at video, we put down about 8 inches of wood chips out here. This was mostly just a weedy mess. There was some liriope out here. There was some dwarf mondo grass. The dwarf mondo grass is still trying to come up through this a bit, and we're in the process of removing it. But what we had out here was a lack of rain last spring, and these wood chips just didn't cook down as much as we would like for them to cook down. And by cooking down, I mean, when you put this much wood chips down, this was all pine trees that were chipped up and brought to us. I'm talking about the mycelium and the bacteria, beneficial bacteria and everything getting in there and breaking that material down and really starting to improve the soil. Because it was dry last spring, I probably needed to put a little bit more water out here. I probably needed to put a couple sprinklers out here and keep it moist. But because it wasn't wet, it took a little while longer for it to get going. I've shown recently out here in the wood chips, if I pull the wood chips back now, it's all mycelium under there. It's all these little white fibrous material under there. It's really, the engine is now on out here for improving this soil. Our issue out here was this had actually been gravel at some point. Every time we dig out here, there's gravel you hit this gravel layer. So at some point, the city had this as, I think it's been several things over these 80 years of this neighborhood, of parking things on it, driving things through it, all kinds of things. What's that?
Fowler's.
And this was a nursery. For those of you who don't know, Fowler's Nursery, which is in Clayton, North Carolina, originally started right here. This is Fowler Road next to us over here, and this was there was a nursery back in here, which is kind of weird that we're doing all this horticulture stuff here. They moved from here down to Garner, and then ended up moving from that location to a location in Clayton. Nursery still exists to this day, but it's in its third location now. And so they may have been the ones that graveled this, I don't know. But because it's been driven on and compacted so much, these wood chips are really going to alleviate that. Well, they're going to help us get earthworms and other things in here that can go down and start getting rid of some of this compaction. So with all that said, a lot of words there, we didn't do a lot of planting out here last year because of that. We do have a corral of perennials I'll show you in a minute. The other thing we're working on is this typical of this neighborhood. So many invasive plants were planted here over the years that This is a Chinese privet that's basically become a tree, and you can see I'm working on it now. I spent a couple hours this week sawing parts of it down. All of this is gonna be sawed down. I'm hoping I may have to get a small piece of equipment, I don't know. I'd like to dislodge this from the ground and get it pulled out of the ground. I'm leaving it up about this high, so I have the option of pulling it out in some way, or mechanically pulling it out in some way at some point, but it's got to go. I mean, it's just, this Chinese privet's putting out tens of thousands of seed every year. Behind it, in the neighbor's back garden, is a Japanese privet, another ligustrum species that is got tens of thousands of seeds on it as well. So we're going to come back. I can't do anything about that one. It's not on this property, but this one I am going to remove. I started on it a little bit last year, but we just got busy and I didn't get around to it. But this is going to be erased. So, you know, the welcome to the native garden was a Chinese privet for the last 12 months. We're eliminating that right now. When we put down the wood chips, this whole thing got wood chipped. And then when we have an open garden event, January 20th-ish, it's on our website. You can get tickets for our open garden event. By the time the open garden event happens in June, this is going to be a very different space by then. But when we had the open garden event last year, I want the wood chip path trail system to go through here. We put down a little bit of hardwood mulch just to kind of define this path, but only put down about this much. I don't want to bury these wood chips in a lot of material. So there's about an inch or less of hardwood mulch, but it's sitting on top of 8 inches of wood chips. But they're finally cooking down. I think this spring we can really get in here and plant whatever the heck we want to plant without any problem. We've already have a few things that we're going to be planting. I'll show you one of those in a second. I meant to bring it over here before I started running my mouth. I've got a couple pieces of this privet blocking the entrance here because we had a FedEx truck that turns around in here, and which is fine that he turns around. We've left enough room to turn around, but he decided to run all the way up in here and run over this hibiscus about a week ago. So not really understand the need to come up in here this far. We were going to put some sort of little fence across there. We told the city we were going to do that to begin with. This is an open space. The city still owns it, and it's got to be open to the public. So we're going to leave a gate there, but I need some little barrier there that says, hey, this is as far as you need to come in to turn your car around to go the other direction. We live on a weird dead-end road that doesn't have a circle. You know, most cul-de-sacs would have some sort of way to turn around, and we don't. What else, Steph? Let me go grab that Pieris real quick. One thing we'd like to add over here are some leafy evergreen plants. A lot of our native shrubs go dormant in the winter, are dieback perennials or herbaceous perennials that die back to the ground, or a lot of woody shrubs that lose their leaves in the winter. But we do have some evergreens out there, and as an example of that, we have a couple species of Pieris that are leafy evergreens that are native. This is Filarifolia, which is the climbing feather bush. This one literally has a tendency to want to climb, but this is one of Buddy Lee's selections where he's been selecting them to be more shrubby. And he gave us 3 of these, but this is you know, we usually use Pieris japonica in our gardens, but we do have, I think Pieris floribunda is native to the Appalachian Mountains. This is Filarifolia, which is native to mainly Florida. But it's interesting, the flowers are coming on it. You know, not quite as showy, but there are selections out there now where, you know, these flowers are going to open similar to other Pieris and super early in the season. But these are the kinds of things we want to find for out here that may be introducing folks to, you know, we actually have something that's almost exactly the thing that we're using from Asia that's actually a native. There's a ground cover wax myrtle here that a friend gave us. This was just a naturally occurring selection of wax myrtle that actually crawls across the ground. That's a pretty cool evergreen. This is that mondo grass I was talking about. So in the process of digging it up out here, you know, unfortunately it spreads by these, you know, rhizomes under the ground and kind of hard to control. But once you dig it up and throw it on top of the ground, you can see it's dying in the last few days. But it's the same thing in the garden over here. This was all again, liriope and mondo grass and all these things that have been planted and spread all throughout, creeping Charlie and all these, weedy European weeds that were introduced. The wood chips, the 8 inches of wood chips or 10 inches of wood chips is pretty good at killing all of that. Mondo grass can unbelievably grow right up through 8 inches of it and pop out. I don't think it kills any of it. Mowing it wouldn't do any good either beforehand, because you can only, how do you mow something that's only this tall anyway? You're not going to get rid of it. So, and it's resistant to herbicides as well. It's unbelievable how it's really hard. It's really slow growing and hard to get established, but once established, keep in mind, it will be hard to remove in the future. Another issue we have in this garden is rabbits. And last year we were going to be traveling so much that we decided not to distribute all the perennials in here yet, because the wood chips were still this deep and hadn't broken down enough, and it was just going to be rabbit season. So we had a corral here. All the herbaceous perennials were are in this section right here. We had a rabbit fence around it last year, and I can see perennials popping back out of the ground right now. So over the next week or two, this is our first of our projects over here for the season are going to be to pop these perennials out of the ground and get them distributed here in the garden like they were always going to be distributed. Then we're going to be visiting some places, adding some plants to this that we've had on our list, since we started this project, and really jumping in and getting going finally. Again, last year, I had hoped by the open garden last year that I would have had this filled out enough to make it look like something. But again, these wood chips just weren't breaking down. So excited to jump in. I'm hoping you guys are following along with this. I actually have a playlist for the native garden if you want to go back and see the wood chips going in and everything. And by the time June 20th, 19th, 20th, I don't remember when the open garden dates are exactly. So right around in there, you can, again, the tickets are over on the website. This will be full. Things won't be mature. It'll be a year or two before they're filled in enough to look mature and match the design, our design. But I like the path system that we've put through here, and it ties into the path system of the back garden. We'll continue to use the wood chips in the paths, and we're going to re-wood chip the paths pretty soon, because over here, once these wood chips are gone and it's just regular mulch at that point, some sort of decorative mulch that we're using in the future, the plants will still have access to the nutrients and everything that are being gained by this wood chips breaking down. And if you've had these wood chip paths or been anywhere where they use these wood chip paths, Juniper Level Botanic Garden uses these wood chip paths. The Ralston is now using wood chip paths. When I walk on this, it's spongy under my feet. You can literally feel the life that's in the ground, under this, under your feet while you're walking. It's pretty amazing. It just bounces right back. It doesn't compact like other paths would. And again, it stores water and it stores nutrients that the plants can root into and gain access to. One of the things that'll be important out here, I think, is if we're showing you native plants that aren't the 10 native shrubs that you'll see at every garden center, and the 10 native perennials and the 10 native grasses that are at every garden center. We'll also tell you where we're getting them. So a lot of that will be in our travels. The other thing we're doing is doing a lot of them from seed. So we have started our seeding indoors we do a lot of annuals. We do a lot of color out here. I call it Clown College design. The rest of the garden is very, very vibrant and colorful and has tons of pollinators in it. And this will as well. But a lot of the perennials that we're doing, we can just start from seed. They're native, we can buy the seed and do them that way. So as we're putting those things in the ground later this spring, we'll tell you what we've done from seed, where we got this shrub, where we got this thing. We'll be visiting those places and showing you where you can access some of these things. I think that'll be the hardest issue, is tell somebody they should use 50 things they've never heard of, but I can't find them. So what would that be? Well, what good would that be? So hopefully we'll help about a bit with that as well. So thank you guys so much for following along with it. Again, there's a playlist for this, and I think you'll see over the course of this spring, if you're following along with it, it'll go from this kind of stark, there's, 1, 2, 3, there's 30 plants or something in here right now. It's going to go from 30 to 300 real quick this spring. So thanks for following along with it.